going to look at the two different types of covalent compounds that you can see for the exam. The two major compounds are simple covalent and giant covalent compounds. They both have similar bonding, sharing electrons, but different properties. Simple covalent bonds, such as hydrogen, oxygen, methane, carbon dioxide, and as shown here, water, have low melting points and boiling points. Every covalent compound has a strong covalent bond. When it comes to simple covalent bonds though, it's not this that's being broken. The reason they have a low melting point is because of these intermolecular forces. These little forces in between the different molecules, these are very weak. Which means that when you put a small amount of energy in, those weak intermolecular forces break. So for example, water has a boiling point of 100 degrees and a melting point of 0 degrees because you're breaking these weak intermolecular forces. Forces break, the molecules can move, turn into a gas. If we look at giant covalent bonds, such as graphite and diamond, you will see that there are no intermolecular forces, only these strong covalent bonds. These bonds take a lot of energy to break, therefore giant covalent compounds have high melting points and high boiling points. Giant and simple covalent bonds do not conduct electricity. The reason for this is simple. The electrons are not free to move. If we talk about ionic bonding, when a liquid, the ions are free to move. And when we talk about metallic bonding, electrons are free to move. But in covalent, every atom has a full outer shell. Therefore, there are no electrons lost or gained because they're shared and electricity can't conduct. The exception to that is graphite. As you probably remember, every carbon atom can make 3 or 4 bonds. Usually it'll make 4. However, in graphite's case, it's only making 3. 1, 2, 3. This means that carbon has a spare electron. Those electrons are free to move, and therefore graphite, the thing that goes in your pencils, can conduct electricity. Graphite has weak layers, so intermolecular forces between the layers, which is what these purple lines are, which means the layers can slide past each other, which is why when you rub the pencil on paper, it leaves a mark, because it's these layers rubbing off and attaching to the paper. Graphite is also soft enough to be used as a lubricant. Diamond, on the other hand, doesn't have these layers. Every carbon atom has 4 bonds to it, therefore it is very hard, has a very high melting point, and can be used as a cutting material. It's one of the hardest properties known on Earth. And finally, simple molecular compounds have no electrons free to move, they don't conduct electricity, and as I've said before, have low melting points and boiling points.